All right, so we're starting with Liz on MageCart. Man, I've been hearing a lot about MageCart.
Yeah, this is a new novel application of it, which I thought was pretty interesting. Where essentially these sites are targeting emergency related services, and good time to target those because they're getting a lot of action right now, especially with the protests and with the COVID crisis and everything else. So pretty interesting. And again, misconfigured S3 buckets on AWS are a major problem. Those are getting attacked in all manner of ways with all manner of consequences. So just a good reminder to secure those for people.
You know, I'm surprised that nobody has like signature verification for like the script on your page. I mean, somebody can just modify the script and it still runs. That would seem like a solvable problem in this day of like HTTPS. But
yeah, you would think.
There are those recommendations though from OWASP, right, to put on your site so that you can't run other scripts.
There are like HTTP headers to limit what your script can come from, but I don't know why there isn't just some sort of signature verification that the page you get is intact and unmodified. But there is nothing like that.
Yeah. And I mean, because of that, virtual card skimmers are still a major problem.
Yeah.
In this case.
Yep. And I like this one, encrypt your face. That's a good idea.
Yeah, so the makers of Signal are giving out these masks. They're not necessarily your N95 mask, but they are to hide your identity when you're out protesting. And according to the thing, you message that number and they'll ship you 50 masks. I'm gonna find out because I put in a text to see what happens. So I'll let you know whenever the masks show up, what they look like and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, give it to us, give it to your students. That'll be fun.
Yeah. I guess this pattern is designed to follow up face recognition more than other patterns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, mask, I would think any mask would do, but maybe that's better.
There's only one way to find out. So I'll let you know when they arrive.
Well, you have to not only distribute them to students, you have to give them an assignment to go commit like big crimes. You can see, otherwise it's not a fair test. And you have to do the other half of them, other masks, and then count how many of them go to prison. And you have to make it double blind. So you have to make masks that look the same, but don't hide your identity somehow.
This seems like a totally ethical study.
Right? Well, there's always these little ethical considerations. Real scientists skip right over them. Anyway. All right, then Kaitlyn. Oh, yeah, I remember saw this one, which I.
Oh yeah, TLS. It's broken again. Hurrah! TLS 1.3, the most recent version, has a wonderful bug in it.
Only GNU TLS.
Only GNU TLS, yes. Has a bug in it where essentially there's a way to resume sessions within the TLS standard. Mm-hmm. So what you do is you connect to the real server and you get the resume session data, and then you redirect the client to your server and you resend that session continuation data.
Oh.
And now the client is connected to your computer, and you can totally like man in the middle of their traffic and do all that kind of fun stuff. I mean, this is kind of an advanced attack and you would need access to the infrastructure, but you can totally man in the middle TLS now.
And this is because the session data doesn't use this random nonce it's supposed to use. Instead, it's all zeros, right?
I would assume so. The article here doesn't go into that much of specifics,
That's
but
what
I would
the article I saw said.
Yeah.
The problem is that all the data is zeros.
Right.
Instead of being properly randomized. This is the same thing happened to Ubuntu about 8 years ago. The whole Debian chain of Linux for 2 years forgot to seed the random number generator. So it was using the same random numbers for everything it created for like 2 years before anybody noticed. That's why when the NSA backdoored one of the major protocols by putting predictable random number generator, Bruce Schneier said that is probably the best way to do it. If you want to backdoor stuff and not get caught, is to just make the random numbers not random, because how would anybody ever know?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's awesome. Have you tried it?
Not yet.
It looks a little complicated to set up. It'd be fun.
Yeah. Yep.
Great. And then here's actually ethics stuff. There's a couple ethics stuff in mine. Not my usual beat, but anyway. So NSO is like famous for making like tracking software used by like crazy governments to like track down people and abuse them. And so now they're trying to make an anti-drone defense, which the other anti-drone defenses I've seen will like fly another drone and catch it in a net or something. But this one hacks into the drone and lands it safely. And they'll just sell you this box. It apparently does it over the network, which seems crazy.
I thought they already had something like this.
Yeah, so rather than sending a rocket to it, they're going to take it over?
Yes, apparently so.
Well, see, I thought something like this already existed through, for example, there are around Civic Center. So there are these perimeters where drones are prohibited, and if you're caught flying drones within that airspace, they will take it over and essentially pilot the drone back to base and keep it.
But I mean, how is that possible? Is there like a backdoor password in every drone?
I know there's some drones that are programmed to not work in certain areas, and when they get there, they'll move away.
So this is sort of like that thing you put in your car that puts your car to remote control.
Yeah.
So you could require every drone to have the back door, but then all the crypto community should be up in arms about it. Anyway, I'm interested to see this. I'd sure like to know more technically about how it works. And they say the other thing about this, of course, is that this is NSO trying to whitewash their image, because they got a really bad image for making this Pegasus spyware that's been used to hunt down journalists and kill them and stuff. And so they're trying to like rebrand themselves, sort of like the cigarette company rebranded themselves several times. So I say, oh no, we're making the cigarettes that are good for you this time. We're not those bad people who made those bad cigarettes.
That's about as effective as my dogs trying to rebrand themselves as cats.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's a popular technique. Anyway, so the German PPE supply chain.
Yeah, so this is
PPE. I thought all PPE came from China.
Well, where what they mean as the supply chain that brings the PPE to German hospitals. The PPE does come from China. Though not all from China, some of it comes from India as well. But I thought this was pretty interesting in that it's yet another. It's at the heart of it is yet another successful spearfishing campaign.
Yep.
So we've really got to train our executives here and put some better controls in, because this just keeps it's still effective.
You know, I should probably add one of these spearfishing tools to the hacking class, so people practice sending out spearfishing to audit your staff. That's a standard activity now. It should be in the classes somewhere.
Yeah. So apparently the attacks came from Russia, as far as the security researchers discovered. So I just thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why they'd attack that in particular. I guess just to create chaos by messing up the PPE.
Who knows? I could also see, because one thing that I thought was interesting was that with the analysis from the researchers discovered that the attack was intended to target just one specific company. And this one specific company could or likely is the one company that has the government contract. So it would be a good way to knock a company offline so that they were unable to fulfill their end of the bargain and then take it over. Just a hypothesis.
Yeah. I know one thing. Russia is the nation that more than any other just wants to cause chaos in the West. They want us to lose faith in democracy and believe that our government is no good and stuff. So I can see how they just see it as positive for them if we are disrupted.
Well, that totally makes sense as well.
Yeah. All right, and we got Call Stranger, which is UPnP. I never really understood UPnP. I know it opens up a port in your router, but I don't quite understand what the heck it does.
Well, it does the work for you, just like Plug and Play does.
Yeah, so you
they do have a website that talks more about the vulnerability. It doesn't have a cool logo, so you know they're not serious.
Yeah. But I know this. Yeah.
But yeah, there is a OCF for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was confirmed by the Open Connectivity Foundation.
Yeah, this one sounds like a good one to research. The one last time we spoke, I wanted to try doing the Zoom attack, and the problem is it requires connecting to the Zoom servers, and the Zoom servers will not let you connect with an out-of-date client. So it's essentially of no importance.
Yeah.
But this one sounds like I could just have an older version of a tool and it would be running the wrong kind of PNP. So this one might be worth developing.
Or even the devices that run this.
Yeah, it should be nice.
Their website has a little more information than this article.
Yeah, and proof of concept scripts. So
yeah, if you click on where it says website dedicated to the Call Stranger vulnerability, it's kind of about
Okay, well, I'm taking your word for it. But anyway, yeah, I got to look into that one. That one might be a good thing to make a project out of.
Yeah, UPnP uses standard like SOAP protocols and stuff. I mean, it's pretty fun. If you already know web, you can pretty much do a UPnP.
Yeah. All right. And then we've got Kylin, which I'd never heard of.
It's an Apache product. So anytime an Apache product has a remote code injection vulnerability, I love it. It's fantastic.
Oh, it's in
this one, what?
In Java, okay.
Yeah, it's in Java, of course. Why wouldn't it be? This one has to do with the way that Kylin kind of stores data in something called cubes. I have no idea what a cube is. I assume it is like some kind of abstract data structure. But the way it handles cubes is that you can migrate them using a kind of a URI, and it uses a string builder. If you scroll down, you'll see, there it is, string builder. That code right there will allow you to inject code into the URI.
Oh, they're just putting in user data right here in the string.
Right there in the string, and then if you scroll down one or two more lines, Sam?
Execute. Yep, execute command.
Yep, and then there. See where it says HTTP target Kylin.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, right there. You
That's
just throw in
awesome.
those backticks, and you get command execution. And you do need, at the very least, kind of management or admin rights on the server to be able to add that command.
Yep.
But yeah, no, command injection on an Apache product.
Well, that sounds like too easy.
It is too easy.
Neat. Okay. Yep. That's good, clean fun. All right, and here's another virtue signaling thing. It's hard for me to believe this. IBM says they're going to abandon face recognition entirely because of morals. And that was exactly my response. I said, what, a corporation actually abandoning a big business because moral? I mean, I assume this must be because it doesn't work or somebody else owns it.
Well, they've sold it to various government as part of various government contracts. So I'm wondering how that's going to work.
Yeah, what I would believe is they made like a classified branch of a subcontractor with a different name that is doing it, and the public face is not doing it, so they can keep a difference or something. That I could believe. But actually abandoning a major market because of morals is really, especially since face recognition is used everywhere. I use it on my phone. It's not like it's evil or military only.
Well, and it has made me wonder, though, with the mask thing, if that's going to continue to be such a thing. If we're going to be wearing masks all the time.
Well, I don't think we'll be wearing masks for 5 years. I think in a year or two they'll have a vaccine, or we'll all just get used to pretending it's not a problem. Like Trump's going to resume his rallies next week, and every state is opening up, even though most of them have the thing still rising exponentially. We've decided in America to just completely ignore it and go back to normal.
That always works out well.
A couple other nations have actually ended it. not only New Zealand, but some other island nation already says it's totally gone.
Cuba.
Cuba, yeah, Cuba and New Zealand are the paradises. America and Britain and Brazil are the mad place where we just pretend it's not happening. I used to think the opposite. I used to think those communist regimes lied about things and we told the truth. I guess I was wrong. Anyway, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, that's a pretty stunning thing to say, and I assume like tomorrow or the next day will come out the leak of internal emails explaining why this is evil. I mean,
Yeah, I would like to see that because this is interesting. Kind of hard to believe, but okay.
well, I thought the entire structure of corporations was that you do not allow corporations to make moral stands. They are forced to maximize shareholder value. And if they do something stupid, like take a principled stand, then the board of directors ejects the CEO and puts in another one that will knock off that nonsense and make money again. Unless something changed about the incentives, which I missed. Anyway, but we'll see. Maybe I'm too cynical. I know it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe, but anyway, so hospital busting hackers.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of a silly headline, but you know it is the Register, so we'll give them a pass. But Honda got hit by this malware that's also been used to target a lot of hospitals recently, and it actually also has a industrial control system module in this malware, which is could be a real problem for manufacturing facilities.
Yeah.
And apparently it is. So it's a version of the snake malware.
Yep, and I see they say they actually responded well because they had practice on WannaCry.
Yep.
Reminds me of like Singapore that did really well with coronavirus because they already had SARS. So they got their system geared up for it.
They do and they don't. They're still having some pretty major service interruptions from it. So
yeah, they are. Yeah. All right, and then we've got WhatsApp.
Yeah, this is more of a PSA. You don't want your WhatsApp number to be showing up. You can. There's no way to take it out from URL and QR, so it doesn't show up on any Google search.
So WhatsApp uses your real phone number, right? Or does it have some other number?
As far as I know, it uses the real number, but I guess it can also not use the real number.
Pulls it.
Click to chat is the way you disable the click to chat, and your number won't leak out to the world.
So we're supposed to believe that only this one feature leaks data to Google and Google doesn't harvest the data 100 other ways?
Right. I know, right?
That's like the IBM virtue signal. The idea that you're hiding something from Google makes me feel like hiding something from the NSA. Who are you kidding anyway? But I don't know. We'll see. Off of Google's search index. Well, okay, it's an interesting statement. I would like to know more about it. I'm not so sure what to make of that one. And Kaitlyn. Cox.
Let's be adults here. This ISP is behaving badly. So this is just another story of ISPs behaving badly. They are cutting off or slowing down connections of users who use a lot of data. Doesn't matter when they're using it. If you're using a lot of data at like 2 a.m., they don't care. They just see the total amount. And they will slow down your internet connection. And not only that, they will slow down your neighbor's internet connection. Because why not? They're ISPs.
Well, now there used to be that all of your neighborhood was ganged together on one device and all you have is a maximum amount for your whole neighborhood. That was the original thing. Yeah. And it sounds like they've still got that situation.
Pretty much.
Well, it doesn't need to be that way, though. This is a deliberate hindrance that they're implementing.
Well, I don't know. It could be a matter of hardware that they gang your neighborhood together on one line.
The thing that gets me is that the speeds that they're throttling people is they're going from 35 megabits per second down to 10, and 35 is not that much.
No.
If this company can't handle people just downloading at 35 megabits per second all the time, their infrastructure is just in dire need of upgrading. They don't need to punish their customers like this.
Yeah, but how are they going to upgrade the infrastructure when they're using it to inflate executive salaries?
That's a good point. You know, why aren't we thinking about the executives?
Well,
Gotta think of them first.
They might only get a 10% raise this year if you expect the company to reinvest some of its profits into maintaining and expanding the infrastructure to meet demand.
well, I don't know how you people can be so cynical. I mean, I thought 10 was enough, but I'm badly out of date, I guess.
Deregulating utilities is working out great.
Yep. Well, I mean, the thing is, the internet has never been a strict utility, and that's part of the problem. It's become very clear during the coronavirus pandemic that the internet and ISPs are integral to daily life, and they should be treated like any other telecom or power or sewage company, but they're still not. They're still running off the same rules from the 90s, where they're just pretending to be, oh, we're just this new idea that's starting up and this luxury people can have. They want to keep it that way because they can make more profit.
Well, this is the kind of stuff Elizabeth Warren would definitely do if she gets in.
Yep.
I think, and Biden still hasn't chosen a VP. It's very important. But
well, I'm available if Biden is watching. I would love to be his VP.
I would support that ticket.
yeah. I hope he has the guts to put Elizabeth Warren in. I think it would really be good for us all. But we'll see. He seems to be stalling on it. And so suppose Moore's Law is dead. Boy, there's two things you see I've seen every day for like the last 50 years is Moore's Law is dead and it's time for Linux on a desktop. You know, everybody's always declaring Moore's Law being dead. But anyway, this is the register, so maybe we should take it more seriously. I don't know. I remember when they went from 50 nanometers to 35 nanometers on the chips. Now they say they're going to 5 nanometers on the chips, and that's the limit. I highly doubt it. But anyway, what they're saying is they're not going to be able to make the processors fundamentally any faster. So the only way to speed things up will be to write better code. So I'll believe it when I see it. I think they're totally ignoring optical computing and quantum computing. There are ways to get smaller yet. But anyway, that's the game here. They say chip miniaturization will end at 5 nanometer fabrication.
I have noticed a general trend away from optimization in software, which I think is a mistake. A lot of the time, I see this happen more than it should, but developers have, really highly resourced machines, super fast internet connections, etc. And when they're writing the software, they write it with the assumption that everybody has those resources that they're using to consume the product. Yeah. And I think that I thought this is a bad trend for a while. And now I still do. So hopefully,
yeah, Java still isn't as mainstream as they thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I'm hoping because I'm really hoping that this helps to drive a shift away from that trend.
What was that you said, Kaitlyn?
Oh, there's a reason why Java is not as popular as they thought it was going to be, and part of that has to do with the fact that it's totally not optimized, and it's optimized code is still important in today's day and age.
Oh yeah, I think it's important everywhere. Yeah, it's a good point. I was the Easy CTF, the last one, they quit making it, I think, but the last one was fun because they had a puzzle and you had to solve this puzzle and then you had to make your code faster and faster and faster. And it pointed out to me how miserable I am. I could only get the first level. Then they said, okay, now make it 100 times faster. Now make it 100 times faster again. And I couldn't even do it the first time. Like, stop being so inefficient. So, that's why I'm a red teamer. I can't write good code at all, in case anybody hasn't noticed. Anyway, are there any more comments?
No.
Stop the recording then.